You know, some movies have songs in them,
Mm-hmm.
and it brings the movie into the other world that I love. I love music and I love movies. I think they're my two favorite art forms.
Yeah.
And when it's done right, it can be pretty brilliant. And we've talked a lot about about how do you put music into a movie without it just being somebody listening to the radio or something.
Yeah. Or just overlaying the soundtrack.
With the soundtrack,
Which also
yeah.
works. All these things work.
Yeah. But some Indian films will go ahead and just have the actor singing the song.
It's production, like production,
and dancing, yeah,
singing. It's like it's just an extra fun thing for you in the middle of the movie, just bringing you full entertainment. And I always thought that was going to be a weird thing, but the more I see Indian films, the more I absolutely love it, and some of my favorite stuff because it's cool to see these actors who a lot of them are big action stars, really know how to dance. Like,
well,
completely insane. Like, wow, like. And it's cool just to see that because I think it's kind of underappreciated a lot of times. So,
well, sometimes I've been on sets a lot where there's action choreography, like fight choreography, and it is exactly dance.
That's
some people say it's kind of like choreography for dancing, and I'm like, nah, it's exactly like choreography for dancing.
Exactly the same.
It is exactly the same thing. It's just not, in some cases, not as rhythmic and not as musical and not perhaps as finessed, but sometimes they do stuff where they're like, let's make it a little bit less like dancing. Let's make it more like fighting, But in the Indian films, they go ahead and say, let's go ahead and do some dance choreography. Mm-hmm. And I think people who do violence choreography, fight choreography are already kind of skilled at controlling themselves and moving in precision ways. Because if you don't learn if you're dancing, you may slip and fall down and sprain your ankle. But if you're doing fight choreography and you're off by this much, you're going to hurt somebody.
Hurt yourself or
seriously hurt somebody. You hurt yourself or hurt.
And you're right. It is learning how to, actors know exactly how to move his body, how it looks on camera, and what is the best, most optimum way that looks like, pulls off the action scene in a really cool, lyrical, exciting way.
Yeah, so and has the content and delivers the story. It's like, do you is this a realistic dirty street fight down on the ground, or is it one of those sort of martial arts things where people are doing flying, kicks that defy gravity and all that? And it's all really difficult. And so
and
when
who better to do it than Salman Khan?
Right.
Who's one of the biggest action stars of all time. He's been around since the 80s. He's done amazing films, really fun. And he always has a little bit of a wink. Like it never seems like it's too dark. Like I say never in the films I've seen. It doesn't mean he hasn't. But he always kind of brings a cool energy, like a very chill but elegant sort of cool thing. Like it's effortless. And I think that's kind of the cool thing, is not make it look like you're trying too hard. And he does that. So this is the song Zohra Jabeen. And so I don't know what that is.
Zohra Jabeen.
And it's from the movie Sikandar, which means warrior or close to warrior. So it's a big action film. It's going to be a big song. Can't wait to hear it. And let's see. I think the song, So the song is performed by Prateik. So let's take a look.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Ow. All right.
Here we go.
All right. Action and ready. Almost ready. Okay.
Almost
everybody
ready.
Quiet on the set.
He's always so almost slow motion. Oh, the side effects are cool.
Yeah.
ने बोला इशाद तो मैं भी हुआ फिर स्टार्ट इन बालकों का उस्ताद पर तेरे आगे करूं फरियाद ज़ोहरा ज़बीन तो सासी तेरे लिए खुशाया तो जादूगरी तो
super saturated.
देखी जो तेरी अदाएं तुझ पे कुर्बान हुआ मैं जरा बहके मेरे अरमां जरा बेईमान हुआ मैं तेरे होठों का तबस्सुम मुझे दीवाना बनाए तेरे रुखसार की रंगत तो मेरे होश उड़ाए आती जाती सांसों में तेरी ही रवानी है तेरी ही बदौलत अब मेरी जिंदगानी है तेरे रास्ते में ये दिल बिछा के रखा है तू करे इशारा तो दे तू जा भी ओ मेरी ज़ोहरा जबी ओ मेरी ज़ोहरा जबी जहाँ से गुजरे है तू करे सलाम सभी ओ मेरी ज़ोहरा जबी ओ मेरी ज़ोहरा जबी मैंने कोई तुझ सा हंसी कभी देखा ही नहीं
So pretty and sparkly.
Yeah, it's very sparkly and glittery and lots of light effects, like you were saying, on the floor. That disco kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. They had some cool. They didn't overplay those little special like effects, like
Right.
and then when he rolled out the carpet, the hearts were kind of. They didn't overdo it, and most of it felt practical. Like, it looked like the set was built and lit. Everybody was like in their sparkly outfits. It didn't feel like they had a lot of post effects on it. It just looked really beautiful and fun.
To me, it looked like a lot of post effects.
Such as what effects?
Just the color, and probably a lot
color
of
saturation. Yes, but I'm talking about like CGI, kind of like animation or any kind of like special like compositing. It felt like it was in.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I think they were really dancing, and the cameras were really capturing the dancing. It'd be interesting to see the raw footage, but I think it's just. I mean, it is done to be hyper real, like what we talk about sometimes. There's like the gritty street level reality, and then there's the sort of hyper reality. This is probably, I mean, I don't know the film, haven't seen it, don't know what kind of movie it is, but it looks to me like this is kind of a dream sequence type of thing. Where this maybe isn't, they maybe a more realistic kind of action film, and then it kind of goes into this world of bright colors and saturated and lights coming up, and like when he rolls the carpet out and the hearts rise up off the carpet, and it was like very fantasy world. Everybody's so beautiful and perfect, and their dancing is perfect. And
it seemed like in the trailer there was a scene where it's taking place at this big mansion like this, so I'm assuming like this will be like the fun part, and then all the shit's gonna go down. Something's gonna happen to disrupt all the festivities. Something bad's gonna happen. I don't know what, but I like how he just sort of it's not like he's a professional. He can dance, but he's not like showy. He's just kind of like, I'm just kind of hanging, just kind of moving. Like he's not overdoing it. And he pulls it off. He just has that confidence. And he was the only one in black. Everyone had beautiful colors on. He was like wearing black until she came on the scene. Then that's how they stood out, which is funny because usually black would make you recede, but because there's so many bright colors, they just were popping against it, big silhouettes. So that was a very cool effect. I liked it. I thought it was pretty
really cool. And the song the music is kind of it's interesting. This is something that I have my own music channel, like a spin-off of Cinemondo, called Confusing and Ambiguous, about music, which I think is confusing and ambiguous sometimes. But music is like my other love. I just mentioned it earlier that I love movies, I love music, and to me, music is the international language. Everybody loves music. You go into whatever country you go to, and there's going to be somebody there with the earbuds in, and they're listening to music. It's everywhere. And the cool thing to me is the fact that when you go to different countries, you hear different rhythms, you hear different beats, and different sounds, different tonalities. You go, in America, we have a certain kind of music that you hear all over the place, and certain beats. There's certain rhythms that are built into our pop music. But you go to the Middle East or India or Thailand or Japan, and you hear slightly different beats. I mean, you can still get into it. You still hear it as a pleasant rhythm, but there's like this little offsetness to the Indian, this style of Indian music that we were just hearing that has this beat that's like this it's on the offbeat that we're normally used to hearing do you know, but this is like, you know, you know, it's on the off beat, and it kind of at first sounds like it's a little bit, you know, out of alignment to what I'm normally hearing in my pop music. But after you hear it for a little while, you're like, this is cool. This is like.
Are you going to play it on the harmonica for us?
Yeah, if I may, hold on. No, I'm not going to play it on
the
harmonica.
Come on. I have the song in my head. I can do it.
But you know what I mean? There's like different beat. And then when you go to some Middle Eastern countries will have a different style of beat to their pop music. And when you listen to music from Mexico, you know, the beat is different and the instrumentation is different. I love that cultures tend to retain their sounds, you know, as much as the traditional outfits and the dress, the way they dress and the way they look, and of course language, you know, everybody keeps their language. That hasn't been homogenized all over the world. People still speak different languages, and people still speak different musical languages in different worlds, which, I mean, in different countries, it's like a different world. But sometimes I cringe at how much influence has come from America and invaded other countries. When I go to other countries and I'm like, I don't want to see Ronald McDonald out here. You know, I don't want to see Colonel Sanders out here. But it's, I guess, inevitable. But I love when people keep their musical culture, their musical heritage, and they modernize it. I mean, this is not an old-timey sounding song. It's very current, but it has that feel to it that's definitely not Western pop music. It is definitely Indian music. And I absolutely love that about visiting other countries and seeing, you know, music from other countries.
That's right. It's really cool. That's very interesting. That was cool.
And if it doesn't sound right to your ear, I always say this on my channel when I talk about music from other countries, like
music.
But like I've spent a lot of time in Thailand, and you hear a lot of the traditional music there, like and areas around there, and you hear this music. It's called gamelan music, and it's this real sort of repetitious, you know, music that can be kind of hypnotic, and it has these different rhythms. And at first, it sounds awkward to our Western trained ears. Grew up with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all that, but then something happens. You cross a threshold and you hear it, and suddenly it becomes incredibly beautiful. It becomes music. That will happen if you listen to music from other countries.
Yeah, it's just,
and I highly recommend
your
it.
brains to other cultures and other music. And I'm learning to really love Indian music. Like, starting to pop up a lot on my Spotify, and I hear it. I'm like, oh, what's that? You know?
Yeah.
So Salman Khan, as always, looked fully in charge of what he was doing, just being chill. And then Rashmika Mandanna, who I loved her in Animal. I thought she was so great, because it was hard to go up against what was going on in that movie.
Yeah.
She held her own, which is something. And so I think this looks really fun. I can't wait to see how this is incorporated into the movie, but looking forward to Sikandar, and let us know your thoughts on this song. And we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody. Bye. Oh, and let me know what you think of music from other countries. That's something that I'm really interested in that. Seriously, what people think of, like, other cultural takes on music from other countries. I love it. Anyway, bye, everybody.